Hello, welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm your host, Duncan DeAeth. It's great to have you with us. Tzu Chi volunteers from South Africa make a trip to Swaziland to help the needy and visit an orphanage. We'll visit the Philippines to see how a home repair program started in 2009 is changing lives for the better. And in Dominican Republic, we'll visit a Tzu Chi school where 2 classrooms were recently completed. Tzu Chi volunteers from Durban, South Africa, recently traveled 600 kilometers to Manzini, Swaziland, to visit care recipients in the border region of Lavumisa. The monarch of Swaziland also invited volunteers to visit an AIDS orphanage center, allowing nurses to learn from their dedication.
Yes, there will be no problem, sister.
9 of the Tzu Chi volunteers from Durban, South Africa traveled 600 kilometers to Swaziland. They hosted a meeting to prepare for their home visitations over the next 4 days. On the first day of the program, they brought care and rice from Taiwan to comfort the care recipients in Manzini, giving them love and energy. During their journey, they visited a woman, Margaret, whose legs were amputated due to diabetes.
I feel grateful for Tzu Chi's assistance, including the rice, wheelchair, and blessings they have given me. I hope I can have prosthetic legs someday so that I will be able to work and earn some money for my children.
Both the rice and Tzu Chi's wisdom envelopes have been delivered from Taiwan. Apart from visiting Manzini, volunteers also head to a disadvantaged region of the country at the border of Swaziland, Lavumisa, which is 150 kilometers away. Tzu Chi volunteers from Durban hosted a meeting to share their experiences with local volunteers, encouraging them and inspiring them to continue their relief work. The story of Tzu Chi has attracted the attention of the monarch of Swaziland. An AIDS orphanage nursing home, which is funded by the monarch, invited Tzu Chi volunteers to come and share their experiences.
If you have to stay at home and have nothing to do most of the time during the year, you can get up in the early morning and join Tzu Chi. If you have any chance to help others, you may often hear them saying thank you to you and blessing you. At this moment, you may feel touched. Because of this, I always grasp every chance to help the needy or care for the people in the community whenever I am off work.
Doing good deeds brings happiness to people and even makes them forget the pain that illnesses have brought to them. All these volunteers felt the joy of helping the needy and hope to inspire more people to volunteer.
In South Africa, many communities on the outskirts of Cape Town suffer from unemployment. One such community is Atlantis, where over 90% of the population is out of work. Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for the community for the past 7 years. Tzu Chi also provides food for the local soup kitchen. Let's take a look.
The trunk of the car is filled with different vegetables as Tzu Chi volunteers from Cape Town visit 2 local communities, Atlantis and Mamare.
We regularly provide them with food for the community kitchen. Families who come are mainly out of work or without an income. They can go there to get food to eat.
70 kilometers away from Cape Town, Atlantis is a rustic community where over 90% of the residents are unemployed. Over the past 7 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have continued to provide food for its local soup kitchen. Those who volunteer as chefs are retired teachers.
She's a retired teacher. Here the workers are volunteers. She has been volunteering with us for the past 7 or 8 years.
Knowing the volunteers are visiting today, local residents have already gathered around the soup kitchen waiting. They are happy to receive Jin's aphorism booklets from the volunteers.
Tzu Chi is good. Very good. I know. I want to come in Taiwan one day. I want to be there in Taiwan. Okay.
Soon a delicious lunch is ready for all those who line up in an orderly fashion.
We come here because we don't have job.
We come here to receive the food because my family and I don't have jobs. We often come here to get a lunch.
Since Typhoon Ketsana devastated the Philippines in 2009, many local volunteers joined the disaster relief work in Marikina to help out alongside the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter. For local residents, their homes may be regularly flooded each time a typhoon or heavy rain hits the area. To improve their housing conditions, the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter recently initiated a house repair program with the help of local volunteers. The program has already repaired 20 houses in the first round.
Evangelina looks worried while pointing at the damaged ceiling because she has to live with her family in a dilapidated house.
When it rains, our house will usually be flooded. The water pours in our living room when it rains heavily. Since the ceiling is torn up, we need to use cloth and buckets to collect the water even when we head upstairs.
Lilibeth has a similar situation in her house. She has to raise her 5 children alone because her husband passed away years ago. She cannot afford to pay for the repairs with the earnings from Tzu Chi's Relief for Work program because it is only enough to support her daily living expenses.
We can't live comfortably in our house, especially during the typhoon season. Because the rusty rooftop cannot resist the heavy rain, we have to move all of our things to the second floor to our neighbor's house. Because of this, we often argue with them when we clean the house after the flood.
These are the local volunteers who joined Tzu Chi's Relief for Work event after Typhoon Ketsana brought great damage to the Philippines. However, most of their life is difficult. To improve their living conditions, Tzu Chi Philippines chapter recently carried out a house repair program for them.
This program is a great help to local volunteers, especially for those from a poor background. This program helps protect them from diseases while improving their living condition and making them more effective at work.
Inspired by Tzu Chi's loving compassion, these local volunteers also helped their neighbors repair their houses. They completed repairing 20 houses in just a few days of work.
The house repair program brought a great change in our lives because it helps us avoid the problem of roof leaks and lets us sleep well during typhoons.
Tzu Chi's house repair program is a great assistance to us because it not only improves our living condition but also prevents our offspring from living in a humid environment.
With Tzu Chi's house repair program, local volunteers in the Philippines no longer need to worry about their living environment, and they will continue in their dedication to helping the needy.
In Wanrong Township, Hualien, a Tzu Chi care recipient, Mr. Lai, had his left leg amputated after a work injury. He is neither able to work nor manage household chores. He also lives alone because his wife is in Taipei caring for his parents, and his son is serving in the army. Tzu Chi recently organized 30 volunteers to help clean Mr. Lai's house to restore it to a more comfortable living condition.
Tzu Chi's staff members worked together with Tzu Chi volunteers to paint the walls and clean up the home of a Tzu Chi care recipient living in Wanrong Township, Hualien.
He is unable to clean up the house on his own, so we Tzu Chi brothers and sisters decided to restore a safer, a cleaner, and a more comfortable living environment for him.
Among the 30 volunteers, many children also joined the cleanup with adults.
I came here to help clean up the house. After the cleanup, I discovered that this is a beautiful place. I feel satisfied because this house has become much cleaner.
48-year-old Mr. Lai was neither able to work nor properly deal with household chores because his left leg was amputated due to an injury at work. Also, he lives alone since his son serves in the army and his wife is up north taking care of parents. After repairing the rooftops of his house at the beginning of the year, Tzu Chi came to his house again to help clean his environment.
因为本身也没有能力工作嘛。
Because I am neither able to work nor repair my house on my own, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters decided to help me. After they visited me many times, I feel thankful.
然后才会这样帮我，觉得很开心。
The house has a new look after volunteers cleaned up the environments for Mr. Lai, giving him a more comfortable living environment with their love and compassion.
那我很感激。我们在向赖先生感恩。
In Yunlin's Gukeng, a Tzu Chi care recipient, Miss Liu, lived in a home that was prone to leaks when it rained. Living on her own, she barely makes ends meet and doesn't have extra money to spare for home repairs. After learning of her situation, Tzu Chi volunteers repaired Miss Liu's home for her. She was moved by the volunteers' efforts and hopes to give back to society to pay Tzu Chi's love forward.
The roof has a large hole, ceiling is crumbling, and mildew is everywhere. Miss Liu has slept on this dusty mattress for over 10 years. With the home in disrepair, Tzu Chi volunteers break into two teams, one to clean upstairs while the other sort and organize downstairs.
We have professional construction workers come to fix and strengthen her traditional tiled roof.
Before the makeover, the home was dark and damp. After, it is well lit, while the ceiling no longer leaks when it rains. Miss Liu is beyond happy at seeing this, but something else has made her even more moved. Tzu Chi volunteers move a new mattress from the first floor to the second floor bedroom using a pulley system.
特别帮你找一个镜子，谢谢。让大家一起合作。谢谢。人都是要互相合作帮助。
47-year-old Miss Liu is originally from China. She married a Taiwanese, but her husband and mother-in-law have long passed away. She now makes ends meet by doing gardening work, but it is not enough to make the home repairs. Seeing how much Tzu Chi volunteers have helped her, she offers her gratitude.
I can go to the recycling station with the volunteers to do something. It can help change my life, and I will become happy like they are.
Tzu Chi's care for Miss Liu has moved her to become a giver, continuing the cycle of compassion.
In the Dominican Republic, Tzu Chi has been operating a school for 16 years. Tzu Chi first came to the Dominican Republic in 1998 after a devastating hurricane. In 2000, it established the La Romana Tzu Chi School. This year marks the 12th graduation ceremony. Volunteers also inaugurated 2 new classrooms as part of the ceremony.
Boxes of stationery and uniforms are loaded onto this bus to travel to the La Romana Tzu Chi School for its 12th graduation ceremony. Tzu Chi volunteers are here to provide new graduates and students with these gifts. In response to the Dominican Republic school system, beginning in 2014, the Tzu Chi school began offering full-day classes, and as a result, 2 new classrooms were needed and opened today, as well as new uniforms being issued.
What impressed me the most during this period of time was Tzu Chi's selfless love, as they showed they were not only very caring, but were willing to help those in need, as well as educate every child to show them their love and affection.
During the graduation ceremony, Tzu Chi volunteers brought blessings for Master Zheng Yan and that of Tzu Chi members around the world. The principal of the school also thanked Tzu Chi for accompanying them for the past 16 years.
I want to thank Tzu Chi for more than a decade of support and contributions to this school and community. I think that after these children graduate, they will be able to spread love and compassion.
Tzu Chi volunteers present gifts to these new graduates and hope their hearts will always be filled with love when they fondly remember this school.
TIMA members and Tzu Chi volunteers recently hosted a free medical clinic at the Xiangyu Nursing Center in Bade District, Taoyuan, offering a variety of medical services for residents. Apart from providing healthcare services, volunteers also spread love and cheer with a few group activities.
Tzu Chi volunteers and TIMA members regularly host a free clinic at the Xiangyu Nursing Center in Bade District, Taoyuan. Their medical services include the departments of dentistry, dermatology, and family medicine.
Usually on holidays when TIMA needs assistance, Tzu Chi's brothers and sisters will contact with us and we come to help out.
Among the 3 medical departments at this event, the departments of dentistry has the most people helping out, with TIMA doctors, assistants, as well as volunteers working together to serve the patients.
Thank you, Tzu Chi brothers, for coming here to check our teeth.
We feel happy since it is worthwhile devoting ourselves to offering services here. This is our specialty and is what we feel happy to do. We can safeguard the oral health of these patients.
I'd like to thank the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters for bringing us this free clinic, teaching us how to make crafts and play games and group activities.
Volunteers guide these residents to draw as a way to release their emotions. In addition, everyone is happily dancing with the volunteers to discover their true value of life.
In Malaysia, the aging population has become a problem in Johor Bahru's Chinese New Village. Inconvenient access to medical treatment in the community led TIMA to partner with the Newcastle University of Medicine, Malaysia, to offer free health exams for local residents.
TIMA members in Malaysia partnered with the teachers and students from Newcastle University Medicine, Malaysia and Johor Bahru to offer a free health exam for local residents in Plantong's Chinese New Village.
We examine residents for problems associated with the 3 hypers. In addition, we also offered them breast exams and cervical pap smear tests.
It's very convenient. We neither need to worry about transportation nor the medical expenses. I feel very grateful.
The aging population has become a big problem in our village. Many elderly people are worried about medical expenses, so Tzu Chi came here to offer this free medical service. They no longer need to take a taxi to go to a public hospital.
The medical team included 42 members and another group of 56 volunteers who worked together to offer medical services for local residents. Their dedication thus attracted the attention of a city council member, Chan San San.
He has inflammation in his legs and he also suffers from high blood pressure. Because he didn't have any medicine to take, we gave him a prescription to take home.
I can see that doctors from Tzu Chi worked very hard and they carefully checked the health of patients. I am moved by all of this. I hope that Tzu Chi can continue to spread the spirit.
With the care and love of TIMA members and volunteer, residents can now be relieved of their worries about seeking medical treatment. Their dedication has also become the best example for medical students to learn from.
Also in Malaysia, the Muar Tzu Chi branch has been offering a monthly subsidy for transportation costs to underprivileged families as a part of the Happy Campus program. Volunteers also make it a point to visit the families of students that are aid recipients, which is a more difficult task than you might think. Let's take a look.
I saw a little alleyway. There was an entrance to the side. Is your home in this neighborhood?
These volunteers are getting directions to the student's house using the telephone, a search that is more difficult than expected.
We contacted the parents before, but every time we've stopped by, no one has been home and the gate has been locked. We will call again and ask if they are home. We are here. They often say, "Oh, we forgot about your visit."
Tzu Chi's Muar branch has been developing the school assistance Happy Campus program since 2013 and providing students from Jalan Khalidi Tamil Elementary School with $17 a month to assist with educational fees. Volunteers make home visits according to a recommendation list. It is difficult work, but volunteers always shoulder on.
If we give up, then it's as if we're throwing away the opportunity for a child to study.
They said there would be 26 days of sick leave, but now they can't approve payment.
An unfamiliar language makes these parents a little uneasy around the volunteers. Luckily, the school bus driver is there to act as a bridge for communication.
The parents knows the driver, so communications was much easier. With him around when we visit, the parents don't have the sense of burden.
I really trust Sandra Murthy. He also really makes us feel hopeful.
When I visit the homes of struggling families and see how tough their lives are, that is the reason I do this. I told Tzu Chi, wherever there are children suffering, I will take you there to help.
Although home visitations for these families can be difficult, none of these volunteers are going to give up, because the visit from Tzu Chi could be just the blessing these children need in their lives to prosper. Tzu Chi volunteers have been establishing recycling centers ever since 1990, when Master Zheng Yan began encouraging recycling. In Malaysia, a businessman, Tan Sri Vincent Tan, was inspired by Master Zheng Yan and opened a second-hand shop in his shopping mall. The money earned from sales is donated to the Tzu Chi Foundation. The volunteers at the shop aim to promote thrift and charity with their work.
1, 2, 3.
On this day, the 5R Eco second-hand shop first opened its doors to the public. The shop is located in the shopping mall in Kuala Lumpur and is funded by a founder of a local successful business group, Tan Sri Vincent Tan.
So I think it's a very good idea, and it raises money for Tzu Chi. Good work. You know, Tzu Chi does so much good work, not only in Malaysia, but all over the world. It is an organization that I have great admiration for.
All of the clothing in this shop was donated by kind-hearted people. The shop is also decorated with reusable items. Over 10 volunteers spent 2 months changing these 400 pieces of recyclable wooden boards into delicate decorations.
The leftover pieces of wood will be used to construct a wall behind the cashier desk. As you can see, it is 3D. This is the chair for customers to sit on. They can sit here to wait for their wife or friends while they are choosing clothes.
Every item in this second-hand shop has been carefully selected by volunteers and given new value, allowing customers to consume while supporting charity.
The income that we earn from selling the goods will be donated to the Tzu Chi Foundation to help the needy. We invite more people in Malaysia to carry out the act of giving. The establishment of the second-hand shop recreates the value of second-hand items, which also encourage more people to do recycling to protect the environment.
For the third year in a row, Tzu Chi volunteers in Australia participated in a famous fireworks festival called the Brisbane River Fire. Volunteers spoke to local revelers about environmental advocacy, discouraging littering, and encouraging proper recycling. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.